Hello and welcome back to the accounting module. In our previous lesson, we reviewed all the general configurations for Odoo Accounting under the Settings menu. In this lesson, we will explore the invoicing settings under the Configuration menu. Many of the settings are pre-configured in Odoo, however it's essential to know what the settings are and how to make changes, if required, to best suit your business needs. Let's go to the Accounting module, Configuration. Let's select the first menu under Invoicing, Payment Terms. Payment terms allow a user to add or amend a payment term. We see that Odoo has already pre-configured several frequently used payment terms, such as immediate payment, 15 days, and so on. These payment terms can be applied against both the customer and/or supplier account. Let's review the configuration of the immediate payment term. To do so, let's click on the immediate payment term and open the record. Let's review the displayed fields one by one. Payment Terms field is the title of the payment term. In this case, it is immediate payment. When the early discount box is checked, a percentage can be added to discount the invoice if the customer pays before the invoice is due. The options for how much to discount and how many days before the due date can be set once this box is checked. Because we do not give any discount on immediate payments, let's leave this box unchecked. The Due Terms table allows a user to configure the payment term so that the system auto-computes the due date based on the payment term selected. In this case, we want the balance of the entire invoice to be paid immediately. So, the After column is set to 0 days after the invoice date. The Preview section shows what the customer will see on their PDF invoice in the grey box. Checking the Show Installment Dates box will add a line to the box showing the amounts and dates due. For example, when multiple payment terms are in place, such as 30% now and the remaining 1 month later, this feature allows a company to show a customer the breakdown of the money that is due today and in a month. Based on how complicated a payment term is, a user may enable or disable this feature. For now, let's keep this setting disabled, as immediate payment does not necessarily have any breakdown to show to a customer. Once we set up the payment term, let's review the impact on configuration by going through the statement defined here as an example. So, the impact of this immediate payment term is that for an invoice of £1,000 dated 7th of August 2025, the due date and amount will be one instalment of £1,000 due on the same day. Let's go back to the list view of the payment term using the breadcrumbs in the top left. As discussed, a user can create a new payment term by clicking on the New button. Let's discard. The next setting under the Configuration Invoicing menu is Follow-up Levels. Follow-up levels allow a user to define the dunning process. When goods or services are sold on credit with a payment term like 30 days, the system can create and send an automatic follow-up report to chase the debt. In this example, let's set up a 3-level follow-up. Let's create the first follow-up level by clicking New. Let's title this Level 1 follow-up as First Reminder. Let's say that the first reminder must be 7 days before the due date, so let's put -7 under the days after due date field. Under the Notification tab in the Actions menu, let's select the Send Email action and link to the related email template. Email templates can be found and edited by accessing Settings in Developer mode. Under the Options section, let's set this action as automatic, meaning each statement will be sent by the system automatically when the conditions are met, and attach an invoice as well, so the system will attach the related invoice when sending follow-up statements. Let's save this follow-up and use the action and duplicate functionality like so to create the second follow-up. Let's update a few things here, such as rename this follow-up as Second Reminder, update the days to 30 days after the due date, and confirm the action is again Send Email. Let's update the email template to the related email template and leave the Automatic and Attach Invoices options as selected. Let's save this follow-up report and again use the action and duplicate functionality to create the final follow-up. For the third follow-up, let's update the name to Final Reminder, update the days to 60 days after the due date, and the action is to Send Email, Send Letter, and SMS. Let's update the email templates to the related email template, which contains a warning and threats to sue, and uncheck the automatic option box, as we don't want the system to send an automated threatening email and letters in the event of a user error. Let's keep enabled the attached invoice. Because this last follow-up is not automatic, let's set an activity for a user to review manually before sending to the customer. Let's go to the Activity tab, check on the Scheduled Activity box, and set the person who is responsible to review. Let's select the salesperson of the related customer. Set the activity type as To Do and summary of the activity as Review this statement before sending to customer. Let's save this record and go back to the list view of the follow-up report using breadcrumbs. Now we can see all 3 follow-up reports we have created, which will be triggered automatically as and when the conditions are met based on the rules defined in these settings. We can view system-generated follow-up statements under Customers, and selecting the filter Requires Follow-up. This view will display all the invoices which require manual intervention by the user before sending to the customer. You can also click into a customer record and select the Accounting tab to view their follow-ups. That's it. We've successfully reviewed the invoicing settings menu in Odoo Accounting, covering payment terms and follow-up levels. Why don't you head to your next lesson, where we will discuss the settings linked to the bank section. Thanks for watching, and until next time.